Well. You have opened up another chapter to Pageful of Life, a platform with intellectuals who's into that type of stuff. Um, I'm Elliot Page, an entrepreneur and accountability coach. Let's go ahead and turn the page. Let's see here. We're going to get into a segment I call the A block, where I pull news from the major news outlets and talk about it. So this one happens to be from the Washington Post, where they are speaking about the federal government who's paying more than 154,000 people not to work. This is a part of the early deferment program for those who's in the know with that, and for those who don't. Basically, a early severance, like a buyout, so to speak. The government gave federal employees the chance to be able to be on administrative paid leave, and um, yeah, that's it's 154,000 people apparently took that, and it says here the public is paying tens of thousands of employees not to work for months. Um, so in here it says the number, which has not been previously reported, accounts for workers at dozens of the agencies who took offers from the government as of June to get paid through September 30th, which is the end of the fiscal year. Um, it's kind of crazy though, man, because the government used to be the place to be in order for someone to feel like they made it, and people they can be in those uh, they can work for the government for 30 years, right? 30 years, 20 or 30 years on top of like military service if they had that. So you really have some lifers who are in there working for the government, man, making some good money. They got job security, so it was. And they are being of civil service to their nation, to their government, to the country. And they're under attack. I mean, simply put. I've never seen instability in the federal workplace like this ever. And I've been in the army for a number of years, and then outside the army doing government contracting for a while, and so when I was doing government contracting early this year, it was really saddening to see just the amount of people who were shaken up with all of the the shakedowns that were happening with a lot of the government agencies that were getting cut. You had people walking through the hallways, man, just saying, you're like, "Hey, how's your day? Hey, how's it going?" And they're like, "It's good so far. I'm still here." Like it's people, man. It's so much instability, and just so much chaos, so much disruption, so much in the unknown for them. And it was really kind of troubling to see because a institution like the federal workforce that used to be a place of comfort and stability and kind of a way to move up the ladder is it just isn't the same anymore. I mean, you got entire government agencies shutting down, like a mattress store going out of business. It's unheard of. One woman in here was quoted as saying she's in her early 50s, and she's quoted as saying that she saw her job at the education department as the culmination of nearly 30 years of work in her field. Being put on administrative leave, where she can't work but is still being paid, has been gutting to her. And some people be like, "Oh yeah, pay me to go watch Netflix all day." Some people aren't wired like that. Some people do things outside of reasons of money. It's a sense of pride for them. It's a sense of like civil service and duty. And people just want to, they want to see what their hands can do, their hands and mind. They want to put their hands and mind to something. Um, and so, yeah, and some government agencies getting shut down still has not been explained to me properly, like the Department of Energy. I mean, can we please get these energy bills down? Please. Cutting funding is not going to help with that cause. I can promise you that. Um, so it's really troubling to see, um, to hear this news. So uh, prayers out to everyone out there that's in the federal workforce and even the state workforce. I heard news that the state departments are making cuts too, and so it's just, man, like, what what can you do out here now? Like, you, school is outrageous with the amount of loans that you have to get. Don't count the amount of years that you got to be in that system to in order to get this paper, this document that says that, hey, I am suitable to work in your industry. You're taking on massive loans, man, um, and then you can't get a job, or they say you need 5 years of work experience for an entry level job. Well, how am I supposed to get my foot in the door? And so you had people, like I said, that one of the paths was to, okay, maybe you join a service, you join a military service, you do your time, you get out, and now you have a easy segue into the federal workforce to continue doing what you were doing while you were in service, and now that's like all up for grabs. I mean, hell, doctors and researchers are, up in arms with the amount of cuts that's going on to research. It's like research, man, cancer research, and just all of these very important um, research programs is no longer getting funding. So it's like, what are we doing here? It's like, just someone explain that to me, man. What are we doing here? I'm not seeing a vision, and I try to be a empathetic person, not seeing it. Okay, moving along. Okay. This segment is called Social Media Scrapbook. And it's basically, it mirrors what real scrapbooking was like, where people would gather around like a photo album and people would just discuss things, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to discuss things that I pulled from the internet, and we're going to talk about it. So this one is this one's kind of funny to me because obviously you can see the ladies there are passing judgment onto this lady right here. This poor lady right here. Um, and it just goes back to my whole. I have a thing, man, with getting annoyed with people who are very judgmental. Because who are you? Um, he is without sin cast the first stone type of thing. It's just like, who are you to cast judgment down on the next person for something, as I look at it, as something as insignificant as what they're wearing? You're not wearing it. They're not asking you to wear it. You have no part in this whatsoever, and yet you're going to judge somebody based off the fabric they're wearing on their skin. And then what what's the problem with that? It's just skin. It's just fabric. You know. I mean, if someone is feeling good about their body, shout outs to them, man. They're doing everything it is to make sure that they're treating their body like a temple, right? Hey, look, their skin is moisturized. Hold on, their skin is moisturized. They're working out. They're eating the right things, fueling their body right. Let them wear whatever they want, man, because they're feeling good about their bodies, and you're gonna make them feel bad by saying negative things towards their body, like they care, So, hey, let's focus on ourselves, people. Let's focus on ourselves, because at the end of the day, you probably got some stuff about you that other people find annoying and irritating. So focus on yourself. All right. Stop passing judgment. And for these ladies, like the one, I don't know if y'all can see it, but one of the comments here says that, yeah, those women had way more kids than her, proving it's not the clothes. That's very true. I mean, and we'll see. We'll get into it later. Another thing I grabbed. Um, People are not having kids anymore. Hey, it's a global alarm right now. Like, people are not having kids. Birth rates are declining, and so yeah, it's very true. These would appear to be older ladies. Um, it was a different time they grew up in. You know, they might be sisters actually. You know, they might be 3 of 7 actually. You know, like those the days of having multiple kids. I think like that is over, and the days of I don't know what you want to say, conservatism. I don't know, or modesty. It's just a different time, and I think that's what people have to kind of take into account. Where okay, you grew up a certain way, right? Doesn't mean that the next person has to get with the program for how you grew up or how you're programmed, how you're wired. Um, they grew up these older ladies grew up in a time where you could not even think, don't even dare wear something that goes above your knees, right? I mean, hell, uh, women couldn't even open. Women legally could not even open a bank account until the 1960s, right? The 1960s. You know, they had to go and ask their husbands. So one, they had to be married, and then two, they had to go ask their husbands um, for anything in related to getting money. Very sad stuff. So hey, point is, focus on yourself. Stop passing judgment on those for simply for stuff that's of what they're wearing. You know, the garments, fabric that's on their skin, and they happen to show a little skin. Okay, whatever, man. Let them do them. Like feel good about themselves. You don't know what type of day they were having. It looks like the lady right here might have been in a rush. She has her what appears to be a bonnet on. Me personally, I think that uh, bonnets or do rags kind of are really. I mean, it's sleepwear, right? They kind of I put that in the same vein as wearing pajamas. All right, do rags and bonnets. That's how I kind of look at it, right? But I mean, if I see somebody wearing a do rag or a bonnet out in public, am I going to like turn my nose up at them? No, man. Like it doesn't. It bothers me not, man. It doesn't make my heart skip a beat. Like it. I don't care. Simply, I really don't care. Look, if you're too focused on other people, man, you can't be focused on what you got going on. So, you know, let's move it. Oh, what we got here? Uh, Give me 1 second. Trying to move on to the next page here. Oh, there we go. All right. All right. So the next one we have here is a report um, that says a study finds sperm cells carry traces of stress experienced by the father. And this is a big one, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big one. This is a big one because this is why I harp on making double sure that you mate with the right person because your offspring can be predisposed to things like stress without even having a heartbeat, you know, without even having a brain. I mean, without even having arms and legs, you know. And I say mate because we are a species in the animal kingdom, and in that environment, animals choose mates based on what they feel that would increase their baby's survivability, right? And so you mate with an alpha, chances are your baby will be an alpha and won't become prey to predator, right? Or they won't go starving if they are predator. They won't go starving because they can't catch prey, right? So um let's stop hopping in bed people with people who deep down ain't good for you. So you mean to tell me that the woman or man that you had unprotected sex with, you mean to tell me the woman or man that you had unprotected sex with, who was a bum before, and you guys have a baby, is just gonna turn into a superhero and not be a bum anymore? Like, you think they're gonna get together after that? No. it's gonna get worse. I mean, being a parent is a stressful job, and now you mated. You had a baby with a bum. Now that kid carries those traits. Like, it's it's ridiculous. Don't do that to yourself, right? You're putting yourself in a position where you decrease your chances of the likelihood of your kid turning out to be, breaking generational curses and just blossoming, right? Now, I'm not saying that you have situations where people can come from broken homes, or and they can't make a way, right, out of very difficult situations. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that we got to stop laying in bed and having unprotected sex with people who deep down we know they ain't good for us. They know they won't be a good parent. I've been arguing with them before. So what makes you think having taking on the tasking of raising a child in this world is going to work out for me? It's not. So, uh, for those out there who are in those situations, or who think like that, or think that it's not going to be like that, well, God bless you. Um, Moving on to the next photo in our scrapbook. Okay, so what we have here, we have the U.S. birth rate hits all-time low. The CDC says. Yeah, no kidding. So let me run this off. You got healthcare at all-time highs. I'm sorry, healthcare costs at all-time highs. You have inflation at all-time highs, autism at all-time highs, and governments have cut social programs left and right. Yeah, of course, no one wants to have babies in a type of environment like that. Definitely not like they had in generations past, right? Um, and this is why I don't fault anyone who is still living with their parents in times like this. I mean, it's really rough out here. But if you don't use that time to get on your feet, then simply put, you hustling backwards. Yeah, don't do that to yourself. Don't hustle backwards. It's just not. It's not kosher. Um, Moving on to the next item in the scrapbook. So this one right here. So what I try to do, when you see things that, like this one, you'll see things from certain blog sites or certain things online, and from certain sources that aren't like uh, reputable news sources and outlets, or come that from the traditional background of places like that. I tend to go ahead and see exactly what was said. Like, if it came from like a press conference, or if it came from an interview or something like that, I'm either you're reading a transcript, or I'm gonna watch what they say, because you can't really get tone from, say, if you did read a transcript. But yeah, I'm gonna go see what they say instead of the clipped version of it, because so I'm not kind of just getting bits and pieces of it and then making an opinion about those bits and pieces. Um, so when I seen it, hey, look, man, I love Nick Cannon. I love his business acumen. I love his ability to be able to put people on. I love that he's not a gatekeeper. Um, but this one right here, this one's head scratching. This one's head scratching. So if you are saying that you are not the type of person that your kids can emulate, then why have kids? And so many at that. Someone help me out with that. I mean, this is why it's important to continue to build great habits, so that you can be the best version of yourself. Go to pagefuloflife.com if you need help with that. Shameless plug. um, yeah, look, we gotta do better, y'all. You know, we can't. Again, it goes back to the whole thing of if you are. It goes back to the whole thing of we just gotta protect the kids, man. We gotta protect the kids. We are as adults, you know, young adults, and then going into middle aged adults, and hell, some even late aged adults are still unlearning behaviors that we picked up on from either our parents or just the environments that we grew up in later on in life as we're figuring out life as we're going through life. um we are still being affected by that. So I just say this, man, let's just put ourselves and then our kids in the most advantageous positions, instead of like building up the obstacles for them, and and not being examples, good examples that they can look at, be inspired at, and um have the pieces and tools to be equipped to break away from those generational curses, right? And then for them to be equipped with the right things in order for the next generation that they bring in to be to take that and to move it on forward still, and to just be better than we were, before. We have to take that in account. So, um, let's just be better, y'all. Let's be better parents out there. Let's be better family members, friends. Let's just be better all around. Let's be the best version of ourselves. And again, if you need help with that, go to pageforlife.com, I can get you right. So moving on to the next segment. The next this or I'm sorry, next not next segment, but the next photo in the scrapbook. This one right here says black family reunions are down 44%. Many claim the dynamics of their family changing once their grandparents died. Boy, man, shout out to them. Let's get an applause for grandparents. Oh my gosh. Grandparents, boy, they are. I mean, words almost can't do them justice, man. They are so pivotal to a family structure. Um, so much history, man. They really are walking history books, man. That's why I love talking to old people. That's why I love getting game from them. And so I just love being with them, man. You can get so much out of them. Um, it's crazy, man. My grandfather-in-law, he's 70, he's in his mid 70s. Yeah, he's 75. And I asked him one time, I said, "Hey, have you talked to anybody who was in slavery or talked to somebody who talked to somebody like talk to some have you talked to somebody that may have talked to somebody or been around somebody who was in slavery?" And he said yes, he did. His one of his grandparents, his grand because he was born in my grandfather-in-law was born in the 50s, and so his grandparents were born in like the 1800s. And so it's crazy, like I'm talking to somebody who talked to somebody who was in the 1800s and who dealt with slavery. That is wicked. That is like mind blowing to me. That is it's inconceivable. And so that just goes to my point that they're walking history books, man. And um, man, they really were the glue to a family. I mean, we're starting to move. Hey, we're closer to the grandparent stage than we were growing up with our grandparents, man. We're moving, we're getting older, right? And so we're taking on a lot of those roles that were being held by some of those senior members of our family. Um, I mean, I remember back in the '90s and the early 2000s, you had the family gatherings were huge, man. That was the highlight of my childhood. You had the grandmas, the aunts, the uncles. You had the cousins, you had your parents' friends, good food, old school music, kids running around, and man, it was just wonderful. Um, but now you almost had to beg your own family to come to family gatherings now. I mean, for real. Um, and I'm gonna say this: let us stop using social media as a way to keep up with our family, just because we can see their stories and see what they've been up to. Um, let's actually start fellowshipping with one another, just like the old days, because you get a lot more out of a conversation when you are actually you're when you're checking up on somebody. It's through that conversation. It isn't just because you can see somebody's story and be like, oh, okay, yeah, man. I see, man. You've been on vacation a lot, man. You know, hey, what's going on? You know, how's life treating you? You know, instead, in the other the flip side of it, back before it was social media, it was people had to like get those updates through talking to them, and it's just it's so much more meaningful. Like you can have so much more meat and potatoes in a conversation when you are not relying on an outside source like social media to stay up to date with these people. So let's continue to fellowship, man. Let's continue, be around one another and love one another. And so, yeah, that does it for the social media scrapbook. We're going to transition. We're going to transition to a segment called "Hold Me Accountable." And so, in this segment, I'm basically going to portray what a coaching session will look like. You know, this person, has a particular thing that's on their mind, a particular thing they may be struggling with, and I, the accountability coach, just gonna give them some words to kind of help them out, right? And so this person, say, you come to me and say, Coach, none of my friends or family are giving me support. I feel like I'm all alone in this. What I'm gonna say is, no, no one is gonna want your success more than you. Show them proof of concept. Some people won't help building a boat until they see others in it and not sink. So stop giving up so easily. You simply don't care about your future if you don't do what you say you were gonna do. And I'm gonna let that breathe a little bit. Let that breathe. We have to stop relying on others to lock arms with us and march forward to the goals we set out for ourselves. This is our lives. This is your life. Why should I expect others to put the same level of energy output into what I set out to do, what I said I wanted out of my life, what I had on my vision board, what I've been praying for, and all of these things? How can I expect them to want that more than me? And people, honestly, people look something. They're visual. They need to see it. They need to see stuff, right? And so, just showing the proof of concept, man. Build that raft. Build. Okay, you don't want to help me build a raft? Build that raft. I'm gonna show you. I'm trying to make it on the other side of here, man, because ain't nothing over here on this island right here. I'm trying to make it. I can see better. I can see a better life over there. You don't want to help me build this thing? Okay, cool. I asked out of courtesy. Thought I had a friend. Okay, cool. I'ma build it. I'ma get in it. It's not gonna sink. I'ma start rowing, and you better get on in here before it's too late. And you see me. I'm getting smaller and smaller and smaller in the distance on to the life that I set myself out, that I set out in my head to get to. All right. Hey, simply put, man, you can't want more out of your life, or I'm sorry, simply put, you can't want others to want more out of your life than you want for yourself. All right. Uh, let's go with another scenario. Let's say you come to me and you say, Coach, I tried to take on a new venture in life and it backfired. Bad. Okay. I'm gonna say failure is fine if you really gave something your best shot. Failure is fine if you really gave it a good go. Failure is embarrassing when you didn't give your best shot. Um, when you just simply just you somewhat tried, you tried uh one or two different things, or you went to one resource. And you were like, man, you know what? I'm through with this, man. It wasn't meant to be. No, man, you got to really work that thing. Really work that thing. Really get some put some. You need to get some sweat equity into that thing, exhaust our options, and then you can be like, okay, maybe I need to move on to something else because this obviously is I've tried everything. I've exhausted all options, all resources, and I can't. I just it's just nothing is coming out of it, right? And so, um, what is you have the stories of like Dr. Seuss and Walt Disney and all these folks. They getting denied hundreds of okay, hundreds is an exaggeration. I think what Dr. Seuss got denied like 40 something times when he went to the publishers. You know, that's that's 40 something no's. That's pretty tough to deal with, right? As 40 something no's. Are you resilient enough? Are you tough enough to take that on the chin and be like, nope, you know what? Hey, still building this raft, still building this raft to try to get onto the other side. I see a better life right there. I see success right there. I'm gonna go ahead and build this raft and go on over there, and I'm gonna show you. Hey, look, if you just need a proof of concept, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna get on over there. Um, so yeah, don't exhaust all your resources. Put some sweat behind what it is you're whatever new venture that you're stepping into. And if you fail, you fail. Failure is not embarrassing, man. If you really gave it your best shot, okay. And yeah, that closed it out for this show. It's been fun, intellectuals. Like, comment, share, and comment again. Also, go to pagefuloflife.com for your personal growth needs. Stay blessed out here, everyone. Take care.